Hello, everyone, and welcome to the channel. We're going to be trying out a little bit of a different approach here in 2025. Happy New Year to each and every one of you. We're going to be diving into some of the latest news with New World Eternum, and I'm really curious about your feedback. If you guys actually enjoy this format, let me know. I'd love to be able to kind of like really structure these news posts in a very good, informative, and hopefully discussion driven way. But being that we never really truly can know when these are going to drop, you might see a placeholder stream scheduled. Now we're going to be streaming the news for MMOs here on Ginger Loves MMOs on Ginger Prime TV is really where all the live streams will continue to be. I think with this one, with this being a news post, is going to remain up. But thank you guys so much for the support. Already on this stream, we got 3 likes kicking it off. So I really appreciate it. Especially because the nice thing about it is I can actually highlight various comments from that. But that's not why you clicked on this video and or VOD. Thank you for doing that, by the way. Let's dive into Season of the Conquerors Seasonal World PvP Deep Dive. This was just posted by the New World Eternum devs. This is one of the most interesting questions. And when I say that, I know that there's a lot of opinions when it comes to PvP. I know there's a lot of opinions when it comes to these kind of systems. I, for one, am very curious to see how the community responds to it because it's optional. And if you guys saw my New World Eternum worth playing in 2025, you already know that Season 7 isn't going to be like this big, massive season that everybody's just ultimately waiting in on. So that's going to be how it is. But we're going to dive into it. Let me know if the music is and or too loud. Let's see here. Dalen says, I missed New World when it wasn't burnt out to me. Yeah, burnout is a real thing, and we gotta guard from it. Anyway, let's go ahead and dive in. And this music's a little too peppy. Let's see what we got here. All right. New World Eternum is ushering in a bold new era of gameplay with the introduction of seasonal worlds. These limited time worlds feature unique rule sets, with the first iteration having an always-on PvP configuration, accelerating level, and exclusive rewards. So here's a look at what makes these worlds a game changer. I'm very curious if this is popular, if we end up seeing it just take off, just literally dominate everything that's going out there. And ultimately, if this is successful, I'm wondering if we are going to see like, hey, and now there's just this world, like a special rule set world that isn't seasonal. It isn't seasonal. Okay, good. Jay Shalon says they aren't hearing the music. I will be troubleshooting that as we move forward. But thank you very much. Anyway, music's great in my ears now. We'll keep on rocking and rolling. Okay, so the vision. The first iteration of the seasonal worlds introduces a PvP-focused rule set where players are flagged for PvP all times after reaching level 15 or choosing a faction. This design encourages open world conflict and strategic decision making, while new Ethereal and Conquerors gear amplifies the stakes with their drop on death mechanics. But beyond the rewards, Seasonal Wars offers something deeper, a fresh and exhilarating way to experience the game. It's a chance to test your mettle in the environment where every encounter is charged with risk and every decision carries weight. The thrill of diving into an ever-changing world where strategy, skill, and adaptability reign supreme can be its own reward. Whether you're seeking the excitement of an entirely new rule set, the camaraderie of battling alongside friends in high-stake environments, or the sheer fun of throwing yourself into the chaos, the seasonal world invites you to step out of your comfort zone and rediscover the game in an entirely new light. Are you ready to take on the challenge? So now we're going to talk about the challenges of this implementation. I think this is going to be really interesting to me as a dev. I really always enjoy these deep dives and back behind the scenes stuff, but also a special shout out if you made it 4 minutes already into this. Use the chapter markers as soon as they're ready. So if this is something that doesn't interest you and you're curious to see what's coming up, feel free. Please use those chapter markers, as it's a great way of compacting my content down into something much, much more manageable and hopefully enjoyable. Anyway, building seasonal worlds wasn't just about flipping a switch. It required rethinking server architecture and gameplay systems from the ground up. A robust safety net ensures items like Ethereal and Conquerors gear remain exclusive to the seasonal world, preventing disruption to the Eternum economy. For those who have already have 4 characters, don't worry. An additional character slot will be added with seasonal worlds, allowing you to jump into the action without sacrificing existing characters. I do wonder if we're going to see something where character slots are starting to be purchased in this regards. I'm going to highlight that just for the fact, because at some point, like, they sell us mounts, they sell us these other kind of things. I think the character slots, I'm not a big alt person. I'm not a big multi character person in game, so it doesn't really impact me that much. And deleting a character wouldn't bother me all that much. But I know for some, that is a real key factor. Anyway, for game systems, we wanted to revisit the risk versus reward style gameplay loop that have developed Conquerors and ethereal items as a way to revisit that feeling. To accomplish this, we have added durability and drop on death to these items, as well as bonuses to incentivize players who want to use these items over normal items that do not have this functionality. Ultimately, we want players out there in the open world wearing ethereal gear and trying to obtain more race stones, which is the material used to craft Conqueror's gear. We have done the following to help encourage and engaging risk versus reward gameplay loop on this world. Now, ethereal and Conquerors items drop on death have durability. Conquerors items will lose much more durability on death compared to ethereal items. Ethereals and Conquerors items are going to be stronger than other items. Weapons all have increased base damage of 20%. Armor and jewelry add 3% damage absorption per piece. And because of these changes, no gems can be added to these items. Ethereal items will give players access to race stones, which are used to craft powerful Conquerors items through race stones and also drop on death. The only way to generate race stones will be through wearing specific ethereal gear while farming elite POIs, darkness breaches, and gathering resources. Now, ethereal items, when broken down, yield ethereal dust, and frequent crafting is advised due to its high demand. Now, how to attain this dust? Refining wood, ore, fiber, hide, and stone into ethereal dust at the refining station can also be obtained by salvaging ethereal gear. How to obtain ethereal animus? Ethereal animus is crafted at refining stations for 100 ethereal dust. So what does it do? Opens an ethereal animus, gives 2,500 player experience, further speeding up the player's level, as well as a chance for each of the following item types every time you open an animus. So you got sandpaper, tannin, solvent, flux, all the consumable stuff that is used and needed in crafting. Now, a primary focus for this seasonal worlds is to also accessibility and to respect players' time. We want to put players on more equal ground while also mitigating some of the grind to engage at high levels very quickly. So they've added to the following items to help mitigate these types of issues. All player XP, weapon mastery, trade skill, XP, etc., is increased 25% on this world. They've also created a new resource called Ethereal Dust, which this resource can be attained by refining core resources that we just covered above. The higher value resource the item is, the more dust you get, and the resource is also the primary way you discover and unlock new Conquerors gear crafting recipes during the Ethereal Animus. All Ethereal have a level 15 requirement, and Conquerors gear has a level 20 requirement to use. That means if you manage to kill or take someone else's gear, or you have powerful friends, you can be competitive even at lower levels with the right gear. Now, ethereal gear is considered cheap to craft as high gear score at every tier. The crafting cost for ethereal items is half the cost of the same tier item equivalent. Tier 2 ethereal items are gear score 350. Tier 3 are 600. Tier 4 are 700, and Tier 5 are 725. Mount skill is unlocked automatically at level 15 without having to do the quest. Craft your first mount and special ethereal mount food at any camp to raise or to get riding ASAP. You can also obtain high-end mount straps and horseshoes from Ethereal Animus. Then you have the Heart Rune. Equip slot is unlocked by default on this server without having to do the quest. You have a chance to earn top-tier Heart Runes from consuming Ethereal Animus, though you will still need to be level 65 to equip these. Rewards and progression time. Seasonal worlds offer more than just a fresh start. They pack with the opportunities to earn unique rewards. Players can craft ethereal gear, which comes with powerful perks and opens the door to crafting Conquerors items, a new type of powerful equipment. From character creation, players will be able to craft powerful ethereal versions of weapons, armor, jewelry, and tools. And these items have curated PvP-focused perks. High gear score, low-level requirements have special perks that allow players to generate race stones from specific activities. Ethereal gear is incredibly cheap to craft, but it comes with the risk that they are dropping on death and will eventually break through enough play. Players will start out with recipes to craft Conquerors swarm heavy armor that they are able to craft with race stones, and will be able to unlock additional Conquerors weapons recipes, blue drops, and the various ethereal animus. And some examples of obviously Conquerors weapons include the Covenant's Wave Greatsword. They detail it out here. The Crescent Wave, while above 50% health, heavy attacks consume 20% mana and cast a wave projectile, dealing 150 weapon damage. Man, if you told me that they're going to implement some Legend of Zelda style stuff, that is fascinating. Obviously, 50% health is pretty substantial. I really cannot wait to see how that plays out in the long run. And it's got refreshing move. Light and heavy attacks reduce the active cooldowns. Leeching Consuit heals 72% of the damage dealt by the final strike of Crosscut. Trenchant Strikes, heavily melee attacks deal 23% damage. Talking about a Warhammer here, Yeet, plus 400% push distance and 30% base damage to all Warhammer knockbacks. Clear Out will ignite the first target hit, turning them into a projectile, causing 150% weapon damage to all enemies as they pass through. Man, like this in and of itself. I don't know if this first season is going to be the thing that really kind of lights a fire under people's butts. But I tell you, like, this kind of goofiness and excitement is one of the things that I know people like are so like into that raid, and they were in that mindset of like, we've got to do this. And I think of, and obviously bringing Final Fantasy 14 to mind, where there's a lot of potential for fun here. There's a lot of potential to really be ridiculous and have fun, but sacrifices have to be made. That's why moving this onto its own world. And that's why one of the things I really am interested to see is that as new seasonal worlds roll out, will we see any rule sets that players just don't want to wait for another season? We just want to have that always on, or whatever that rule set ends up being. Like, some of these crazy freaking weapons out here just sounds hilarious. Obviously, the way you balance that is you have other cool ass things that also do those various different things. Now, Jay says, ranged melee waves, how far does that thing go? I wonder. That's going to be something we're going to have to wait and see. That's something we're going to all have to wait and see what happens there. They also then has Sundering Clear Out, inflicts 24% rand for 7 seconds on targets hit with the Clear Out. Plague Strikes, heavy attacks inflict disease for 8 seconds, decreasing incoming healing by 27% and outgoing healing by 14%. And then Refreshing Move, light and heavy attacks reduce your cooldowns. Progression is going to be fast-paced, offering experience boosts across leveling, weapon mastery, and crafting. In addition, players will have an alternative to supplement the way level up using Ethereal Dust and Ethereal Animus. Seasonal exclusive rewards like titles, mounts, achievements, and skins are designed to make your time on these worlds unforgettable, which are obtained through a new journey for the seasonal server side of the Seasonal Pass. The seasonal server-specific leaderboards, to obtain rewards from the seasonal server journey, you must purchase, obviously, the premium pass. That kind of checks out. I wasn't expecting anything else beyond that. All right, let's continue on. Also, thank you guys. 6 likes. I really appreciate the support here on the stream. All right, compete with your company or by yourself against other players to earn unique rewards on the seasonal server specific leaderboard, such as mounts, attachments, a helm skin, a tent skin, a new PvP focused housing trophy. The unique PvP housing trophy provides a bonus to PvP experience when equipped in your house. Players will be able to earn this trophy first before it is made available to all players in future seasons. You can also claim territories and utilize Ethereal and Conquerors gear to maximize their potential in wars and shake up the meta of territory control. Respawn timers in PvP have been extended. The open world leaderboards track the most fearsome conquerors and skilled crafters. It is not just about brute strength. It's about being smart, resourceful, and fearless. When the season concludes, players are not going to lose their progress. Characters can transfer, ensuring the effort invested in seasonal worlds carries over. Items like Ethereal and Conquerors gear will be converted to competitive items replacements, with perks focusing on PvP and gear score that will have an impact on their level of gear. These items will be bound to your character, and as an example, Conquerors gear will be converted to gear score 715, while tier 5 Ethereal gear will convert to 705 gear score. Now, looking ahead, seasonal servers mark the beginning of a new chapter for New World of Tournament, with Season 7 including fast-paced progression, high-stakes PvP, and unique rewards. It promises to capture the imagination of both veteran players and newcomers alike. Well, you're going to rise up to the challenge, forge legendary gear, and dominate the leaderboards. One thing is certain, your time in this evolving world will leave a mark on the tournament forever. Join the fight and prove your worth in the seasonal servers. See you in the tournament. Now, one of the things I will highlight here, one thing's for certain, I think this is going to be a very interesting test case, how it works out, right? So whether it ends up being a huge success or a massive kind of mid kind of update or a failure, that I think is something that only obviously time is going to tell us. But that's what I think is going to be really interesting to see, because if this is a success, well, yeah, that means we're going to see more of this. While at the same time, I do hope that we're going to see that aspect of the things that really kind of float to the top, the real things that people are like, oh gosh, remember season 8 seasonal server was like crazy, and then that would incentivize some combination of these various different things and more. All in all, it should be, I think, pretty straightforward and pretty interesting to see nonetheless. But anyway, let me know, guys, what you think about this post. Let me know what you think about the new format. What I'm doing here is just to kind of catch everybody up to speed. For those who didn't see the intro, is that I've got Jack, the editor, really focusing in on trying to make these videos and these guides the absolute best that they can be. And if you guys saw the last video I posted, not only is it doing really well, but I really feel like that's the quality that I want to strive for in these videos. And so the news posts, in my mind, and what I was thinking as we go into this year, will end up following kind of this format. As news is kind of brought up, we bring it up, we talk about it. I'm going to try to have these somewhat scheduled so you guys can know, or if you never want to miss a live stream, but you don't want to necessarily see every video that I post here, be sure to be following over at Ginger Prime TV. That link is in the description. That's where this is also being, live streamed too. And outside of all of that, that's where like mostly the gameplay stuff will happen. But I'm still working on some things, and we might be doing some more multi-streaming here on YouTube so that you guys can watch wherever you want to watch. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really thank you guys so much for the likes, and I'm really looking forward to like reading your comments, and maybe we'll do some more of these here as we go forward. But this is going to be it. This is a nice little short live stream. Pop in, get the video done, and hopefully you guys enjoyed. And Jay says it makes sense. You can stream it and then edit it for searchable on YouTube. So that's probably what we're going to do. I'll probably retire this live stream, and then it will just kind of be a video post with an updated thumbnail. So very curious about your feedback and thoughts on this. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next news break and or live stream and or video. God bless each and every one of you. And until next time, take care.